Hi there, traders. This is Brad Gilbert with the FX Market Insight for Tuesday, the 14th of May. All right, now a few developments coming through that last North American session. Now, China, if I just switch back just quickly to the major news pages, you'll see that the major news, so China have retaliated back to the US. Now we've got an intensification of the trade issues. So the US and China plan to get together next month. So we've still got a long way to play this out. It's either going to get worse or they'll come together and sort of work out something. But I think Trump's betting on the Chinese economy sort of crumbling somewhat, and that'll give him the upper hand on these trade discussions. But once again, the US trade talks across all news pages, so that gives you an idea where momentum is coming from. It's quite sporadic. So when you come back to the MyFX Trading Hub, and we are looking at the general trade conditions, what I like at the moment, well, we've got normal liquidity. Everything's pretty good there, but momentum is quite erratic, okay? That's because it's coming off random news articles and these sorts of things. I think most of the news is out there at the moment, so we shouldn't have too many problems coming through the Asian session. It's more the North American session when Trump wakes up. That's when the problems occur, or when things can happen. So, all right, so just having a look here, China-US relations, the major core driver, of course, Brexit in the background. Now, what we're seeing is a real change here. We have got dollar yen and also dollar Swiss moving to the downside. Now, both of those, the yen and the Swiss, probably the more Swiss traditional safe haven plays, and that's what we're seeing. This is, which tells you that this is a really important, real issue. Okay, that the markets are very concerned about. Now, Aussie and Kiwi, they are the biggest pairs impacted by the tariffs on China, and they go with the current central bank sentiment. So they are the two pairs which are predominantly driving to the downside. But as I mentioned, if you had a look at the sort of the week ahead outlook, dollar Swiss was, as I put there, was due to come under pressure, and it has done straight away through that North American session or European session as well. So just be aware, dollar yen, dollar Swiss, safe havens. Aussie and Kiwi are moving lower because their economies are struggling at the moment, gasping for air. And you put China on top of that, and that's a bit of a negative for those two pairs. So that's where the major action is at this point. And just to come back and just give you a look at the charts, I mean, it's pretty clear. I mean, if you can't see it, you must be a little bit blind. Here's the Aussie, broke down through sort of 69, sort of 70 yesterday. Kiwi also continuing lower with that sort of bearish RBNZ sentiment. Dollar yen just moving to the downside purely on the back of the yen safe haven play. So if we do get some sort of correction, this thing's going to race to the top side. If there's no correction or there's no agreement between the US and China, then it's just going to keep drifting lower. Euro sideways, sterling, well, it has broken down, but overall it's just trading sideways in a massive range. And dollar CAD, good luck picking the highs and lows in that sucker. It's pretty loose at the moment. So really, to me, going forward today, it comes back to the MyFX Trading Hub, and I'm looking just to concentrate on the pairs that have clear direction. Now, there's sort of four of them up here technically, but these two also have the fundamental benefits of a bearish outlook as well. So they're probably the pairs to keep a close eye on. As we come through the upcoming events today, the unemployment rate in the UK, climate count change, and the average earnings. This is a big release, probably sidelined with Brexit and the current geopolitical news. Keep an eye on the ZEW economic sentiment numbers out of Europe. But that's all she wrote for today. So there's not a hell of a lot to come back to. So the markets will be focusing on the news. And when we look at the news, it becomes static as soon as it's out there. So I don't see any fresh developments from what we've got here unless Trump comes out with some more outrageous extra tariffs on China. And that's where we could see the next move. Otherwise, I think we're going to see this these initial moves from Monday start to fade as we go through the week. Once again, unless we hear more from Trump. The market's positioned short. Will it continue? Well, it only really comes back down to the data, so we need to see what's going on there. I'll tell you one raw nerve to keep a close eye on, and that just bring you back to the main US dollar page is the equity markets, right? You keep a close eye on the equity markets. This is where you will see pain first and foremost. So to see a red at the moment, we see another day of the Dow down another 2%. It's going to get hairy from there. And look at the price action there of the $1. Quick 20 cents to the top side from a week ago. I mean, that's where all the action is. All right, guys, that's it from me. Have a good trade day. If you have any questions, of course, jump into that 247 trade zone. We can clarify any questions for you, or you can also post your trade ideas in there as well. All right, guys, have a good one. We'll catch you in the 247 trade zone. Cheerio.